कृष्णं साङ्गोपाङ्गस्त्रपार्षदं यज्ञै सङ्कीर्तनप्राये यजन्ति हि सुमेधसा ध्येयं सदा परिभवग्नमभीष्टबो दोहं तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरञ्चिनुतं शरण्यं नृत्यार्ध्यहं प्रणतपालभवाब्धिपोतं वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम् त्यक्त्वा सुदुस्त्यजसुरैप्सितराजलक्ष्मीं धर्मीष्ट आर्यवचसा यदगादरण्यं मायामृगं दयितैप्सितन्वधावत् वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम् सुवर्णवर्णो हेमाङ्गो वराङ्गश्चन्दनाङ्गदी विरहा विषमः शून्यो धृताशीरश्चलश्चलः ऐश्वर्यस्य समाग्रस्य वीर्यस्य यशस्य श्रियः ज्ञानवैराग्यश्चैव षण्णां भग इतिङ्गणः अक्षणो फलं त्वादृश दर्शनं हि तनोफलं त्वादृश गात्रसङ्गः जिह्वा फलं त्वादृश कीर्तनं हि सोदुर्लभ भागवता हि लोके श्री चैतन्य नारायण करुणासागर दुखितेर बंधु प्रभु मोर दया कर हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत सीता हरि गुरु वैष्णव भगवत गीता श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ ए जय गोसाई करी चरण वंदन जहाँ होते विघ्न नाश अभिष्ट पुराण ए जय गोसाजार मुनि तर दास तासा बर पद रेणु मोर पंचग्रास तादेर चरण सेवी भक्त सनेवास जन्मे जन्मे हो यही अभिलाष ए जय गोसाई बेव्रजे कैलावास राधा कृष्ण नित्य लीला करिला प्रकाश आनंदे बोलो हरि भज वृंदावन श्री गुरु वैष्णवे पदे मजाइया माना श्री गुरु वैष्णव पाद पद्म करी आश नाम संकीर्तन कहे नरोत्तम दास हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा। धन्यवाद। प्रणाम टू ऑल डिवोटीज। हरे कृष्ण माता जी। धन्यवाद। प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, Narayani Mataji has told me to take the class today because there is the yajna is still going on. So today we'll be seeing from the last verse that we had left in the previous class. So we were discussing the 9th chapter of Chaitanya Bhagavad Adi Khanda. From there, from shlok number 218, we'll be seeing from today's class. So I'll just share my screen. Raksha Mataji, am I visible? And is the screen visible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, are you able to see the shlokas as well? The
No,
218.
now it is okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
So we'll be starting from 9th chapter 218 shloka of the Adi Khanda of Chaitanya Bhagavad Ki Jai. So the verse is Aharnisha Chaitanyera Katha Prabhu Kaya Tare Bhaji Lese Chaitanya Bhakti Haya. Day and night, Lord Nityananda chants the glories of Lord Chaitanya. So when one worships Nityananda, he certainly attains devotion for Lord Chaitanya. The chapter is Chaitanya Nityananda Prabhu's travel around Bharatvarsha. So here it is said that day and night Nityananda Prabhu is always glorifying and he's always meditating upon Lord Chaitanya. and that is why whenever one worships Nityananda Prabhu, he automatically gets the devotion towards Lord Chaitanya. Nityananda Prabhu is the original Guru, he is the Adi Guru, and we only get the Bhakti Lata Bij after worshipping the lotus feet of the Guru. So, if a living entity, commentaries, if a living entity worships Lord Nityananda Ram and his Vaishnava followers who constantly chant the glories of Sri Gaura Krishna, then his propensity for pure devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya is enhanced. आदिदेव जय जय नित्यानंद राय चैतन्य महिमा स्फुरे यहाँ कृपाया. All glories to Lord Nityananda, who is the first manifestation of Lord Chaitanya. The glories of Lord Chaitanya become manifest by his mercy. And we also read this in the invocation, the Mangalacharan verses of Chaitanya Chaitamrit, where there are four verses for Nityananda Prabhu. But the first verse is Sankarshana Karanatoya Shai, Garbhodishai cha Payogdishai, Sheshascha Nitya, Yasyamsha Kalam cha Nityam, Nandakya Rama Sharanamamastu. So I worship Nityananda Prabhu, who is whose incarnations, whose expansions are Shankarshana, Shesha, Naga, and Vishnu, who lie on the various Karana, Garbha, and the milk ocean, and all these Shesha, Vishnus, and all the Shankarshanas are basically the expansions and the portions of the plenary portions of Lord Nityananda Ram. And Lord Nityananda is none other than Balram, and Balram is the first manifestation of Krishna, and Krishna is Lord Chaitanya. So the next verse is Chaitanya Kripaya Hoya Nityanande Rati Nityanande Janile Apada Nahi Kwati. One becomes attached to Nityananda by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya, and one who knows Nityananda never faces any adversity. So, on the strength, the purport is on the strength of the non duplicitous surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, a living entity achieves freedom from the conditioned state and becomes qualified to assist Sri Nityananda in his 10 forms of service to Gaura Krishna. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Hena Nitai Bine Bhai, Radha Krishna Paite Nai, Drudha Kari Dhara Nitayar Pair. So, without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, no one can achieve Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna Paite Nai. Therefore, tightly catch hold of Nityananda's lotus feet. Dridadhari Dhara Nitayar Pai. Liberated souls are eligible to drown in the ocean of Sri Gaura's service under the guidance of Sri Nityananda Ram. So Nityananda Ram or Nityananda Prabhu is basically dovetailing all the devotees, all the aspiring devotees towards the service of Lord Chaitanya. And we had discussed this earlier as well. Mataji had discussed this earlier as well, that Nityananda Prabhu, who is Balram, who is the Adi Guru, when a Jivatma performs Shuddha Bhakti towards the pleasure of Lord and his devotees, the Adi Guru recommends the Jivatma to Srimati Radharani, and then Srimati Radharani recommends that Jivatma to Krishna. So that is the chain of hierarchy. Uh, One can never be able to directly please Krishna unless the person has pleased Guru and Radharani. So Nityananda Prabhu is basically giving us that opportunity to perfect our devotional service, and by perfecting our devotional service, that Jivatma is recommended to Srimati Radharani, and when Srimati Radharani recommends that Jivatma to Krishna, that Jivatma is given the true original form in Golok Vrindavan. And in the commentary, very beautifully, it has been written that on the strength of non-duplicitous surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, a living entity achieves freedom from the conditioned state and becomes qualified to assist Nityananda Prabhu in his 10 forms of service to Gaura Krishna. So, in the process of devotional service, when we compare the devotional service or devotional activity to the Bhakti Lata Bij, the first of the prominent weeds that come in in the growth of devotional service is kuta. So Kuta and Niti. So Kuta, the duplicitous behavior, that one is behaving some in one way with the devotees and is behaving the completely other way in with the non-devotees. One is having both of his legs in both the boats. So that kind of duplicitous behavior is not conducive for the growth of the seed of bhakti. The Bhakti Lata beach can grow in this context. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj had given a series of lectures. I remember this. There are recordings of these lectures as well. You can find it on YouTube as well. That he had taken a session on the various kinds of activities that a Jivatma has to perform, so that the person can be very well aware on the growth of the Bhakti Lata Beach. So this is completely based on letter of instruction and letter of devotion. And in that, Maharaj says that uh, as a farmer is very well, as a farmer or a gardener is very aware of about the and very anxious regarding the growth of a certain kind of plant, that farmer or the gardener will take proactive steps in cutting out the weeds, in feeding the fertilizers and the various kinds of pesticides to the plant, giving it proper amount of water. Overwatering can kill the plant, underwatering can dry out the roots. Choosing the perfect kind of soil, giving it ample light, giving it ample shade as well, and various kinds of other activities that have to be performed, so that any kind of material plant can grow. And we see this even for the growth of any for even for the care of Tulsi Mata at our homes. We have to take so much effort. So the same kind of effort, even multiplied thousands of times, has to be taken when cultivating the growth of the Bhakti Lata. So the seed of devotion that is there in everyone's heart, all the jivatmas, anyone who has the human form of life has that seed within themselves. Even those people who are currently at war, even those people who don't even know what is like, who is Krishna, what is Sanatan Dharma, what is bhakti, even those people have that beej in the heart. Bhakti Vinod Thakur says in his bhajans that that Bhakti Lata beach is the birthright of all the jivatmas in the material world, and Lord provides it. But the problem is that no one cultivates it. The one who cultivates it, even in the path of cultivation, there are so many obstacles in the form of abhiman, in the form of labh, in the form of kuta, and this systematically cuts the growth of the Bhakti Lata beach. So it is recommended over here that we should be surrendering into the onto the feet of Nityananda Prabhu. Narottam Das Thakur has said, "Heno Nitai Bine Bhai." Without Nitai, Radha Krishna Paite Nai. We will never be able to achieve Radha Krishna. Dridha Kori Dharo Nitayar Pair. We have to catch hold of Nityananda Prabhu's feet with Dridha. That is basically means to be very determined while catching hold of Nityananda Prabhu's feet, because the determination is required for the growth of the Bhakti Lata beach. We need to be determined that yes, I want to make it grow. So in this context, there is a verse in there is a verse in Chaitanya Chaitamrit. I have earmarked it somewhere. Yeah. So this verse in the first chapter as well of the Adi Leela, first chapter, 32nd verse, it is written, Krishna Guru Bhakta Shakti Avatar Prakash, Krishna Ei Chaya Rupe Karena Vilas. Lord Krishna enjoys by manifesting himself as the spiritual masters, the devotees, the diverse energies, the incarnations, the plenary portions. They are all they are all six in one. Krishna is basically expanding himself into spiritual master. So when we see our spiritual master, we should be very well aware that we are seeing Krishna, we are seeing Balram. He is our spiritual master, is the living incarnation of Nityananda Prabhu. Because just reading this story might give us good vibes, but that has to be practically applied in our life. And whenever we see any kind of any devotee, or when we see any of these six expansions, the diverse energies, when we see the various multifarious energies in this material world, uh, we should be associating that with Krishna, because Krishna is the Purna Shaktiman, and the Purna Shaktiman is representing himself towards for the benefit of us, like people like us, that he's coming in this material world as the spiritual master, he's coming in the material world as the devotees as well. So it is very very well written in here that Krishna is expanding as spiritual master and devotees and the reverse energies, the incarnations and the plenary portions. The 221st verse. संसारेर पार हैया भक्तिर सागरे, ये डूबी बे से भजुक निताई चांदेरे. Those who wish to cross the ocean of material existence and drown in the ocean of devotional service must worship Lord Nityananda Ram. केहो बोले नित्यानंद ये न बल राम, केहो बोले चैतन्य बड़ प्रिय धाम. Some said Balram is just like Nityananda is just like Balram. Another person said he is the most dear to Sri Chaitanya. Kiba yati Nityananda kiba bhakta jnani, yare ye na mat ichha na bola yakeni. ये से केने चैतन्येर नित्यानंद नाहे, तबु से पाद पद्म रहु कर हृदये. Someone may consider Nityananda a sannyasi, someone may consider him a devotee, and someone may consider him a jnani. They may say whatever they like. Even if Nityananda was a most insignificant servant of Lord Chaitanya, still I would keep his lotus feet in my heart. Purport. Some people consider Sri Nityananda Prabhu as the sannyasi disciple of Sri Lakshmipati Tirtha. Some people, on seeing his love for Krishna, consider him a devotee, and other people consider him a great renunciate and a learned scholar of Vedanta. They may consider my Lord in whichever way they want, or my worshipable Lord Nityananda Prabhu may be related to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply as a menial servant. But I will still not enter into this unnecessary subject. I will place the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda within my heart while considering him my eternal worshipable Lord. So, even in India, those people who are aware of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Ram, not devotees, not the non-devotees, they see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Nityananda Prabhu as simply devotees of the Lord. They may feel that yes, they are a little empowered, but they don't consider Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be to be Krishna himself. He is Krishna in the mood of Radharani, but they will never associate that with him. So here it is very clearly written. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes that even if someone considers Nityananda Prabhu as a mere sannyasi or a devotee, for me, for him, for all of us, Nityananda Prabhu is Balram, and he is our worshipable Lord. Why? Because Nityananda Prabhu is the most he is the most magnificent, because he is so magnanimous that he is even more magnanimous than Srimati Radharani as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in Kali Yuga, all the we have seen this in multiple of the leelas. In Chaitanya Leela, we see that Nityananda Prabhu is begging that Jagai and Madhai may not be killed, because he is basically pleading to the Lord, saying that if you were to take the Sudarshan Chakra and you were to kill the asuras, the Daityas, you would have to kill the entire world, because when you were there as Krishna, these people were different. They were in two different bodies. In Treta they were in two different countries, and in Satya they were in two different worlds altogether. But now both the Daityas and the Bhaktas are staying in the same body, so you have to kill the entire world. So he is basically pleading that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgive Jagai and Madai, and take both of them in his shelter and give them Krishna Prema. So we see this Nityananda Prabhu he has got so much compassion for all the devotees, for all the living entities, that he is considered to be more compassionate than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So we see this even in Prabhupada Lilamrit. I was hearing to a class some days back, and this particular story came once again in that class. Yesterday we were seeing Krishna Tapa Punya Habe Bhai, written by Prabhupada, and in that bhajan we had seen how Prabhupada has got two primary moods. The first mood is complete surrender to the orders of his spiritual master, and the second mood is that of Sakhya Bhav. He is hankering to be once again associated, to be once again be associated with Lord Krishna in his pasturing leelas. So in Prabhupada Lilamrit, it happens. It so happens that Prabhupada has given so many. He has basically given so many initiations. He has made so many people devotees in the Western world. That he is interacting with all of them via letters. So there is a constant. Prabhupada has kept some amount of time in his daily schedule to answer to the letters that he gets on a daily basis. So many of these letters come wherein the temple president or the Namahatta center in charge of certain city, they are reporting. So they have to give reports to Prabhupada uh, about the about the condition of the preaching program, how the preaching program is going on, how the temple is being managed, if there is a if there is a temple altar, who is taking care of the altar, how many new devotees have been enrolled, how many books have been sold. So all these information has to be reported to Prabhupada. And back then there was no WhatsApp, there was no email as well. So all had to be written. It was all either typed or written. So Prabhupada is uh, is constantly hearing the news from all over the world that in a certain place, so a certain devotee has fallen down. That one of the four principles is not being followed by a certain devotee. So all these counseling, the in charges, they are reporting to Prabhupada that so and so devotee has fallen down, so and so devotee has fallen down. So Prabhupada is replying to these instances, saying that you tell them that they have to follow Krishna consciousness very strictly, they have to chant their rounds very strictly, and that they have to be under the guidance of some of the local in charges, so that they don't fall down again. And if they fall down again, I will what do you say, disown them. I will disown them. So Prabhupada is giving this threat that if the person doesn't mend his ways, that the person I will disown. So that letter goes back. A few days, a few weeks pass, a few months pass. Letter comes back again. Same devotee, same thing happens. The same reply Prabhupada gives, that I will disown the devotee. I will not see his face anymore. I don't want to meet him once more. Just give him this warning. So n number of times this has happened for a particular devotee or a set of devotees. And His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who was Prabhupada's assistant, his personal secretary, he gets fed up. He says to Prabhupada that uh, you are only giving that warning. आप बस धमकी दे रहे हो, आप कर नहीं रहे हो. Why don't you do it? You have to set an example. So uh, Prabhupada says that we are in the line of Nityananda Prabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu is the most magnanimous, most compassionate guru. And he is so compassionate that even if someone does an offense, a physical offense towards him, as we have seen in the case of Jagai and Madhai, he is still forgiving. He forgives. He, in fact, he recommends that those people as the foremost devotees towards Krishna, towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu is he is our worshipable object. He should be our worshipable object. So next verse. एत परिहरे यो ये पापी निंदा करे तबे लाठी मारो तारा शिरेर upare. Therefore, I kick the head of any sinful person who disregards the glories of Lord Nityananda and dares to criticize him. Purport: the word parihara means to rectify the faults, to drop the charges, to pray, to offer, to abandon, and to neglect, in order to permanently stop the continual irreverence towards the supreme Lord by those hellish people who enviously criticize Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and to render them eternal benefit and good sense, the author is ready to kick them in the head. By this statement of the most merciful Sri Thakur Mahashay to the staunch atheists, the transcendental goddess of learning, Shuddha Saraswati, displays the firm attachment of a servant towards his master, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, thus teaching everyone through illuminating words that although Thakur Mahashay and other pure devotees who act and preach in his footsteps are detached from those who are externally extremely uninterested in their own welfare, who are determined to run towards hell, and who are ignorant of the truth regarding Sri Nityananda, they are nevertheless selflessly and causelessly merciful towards fallen souls. So, as we have to just keep on, we have to be amazed by the skill of writing of Saraswati Thakur. The line has begun by this statement. So the line has begun in the one, two, three, four, five, the sixth line by the statement of the most merciful Sri Thakur Mahashay, and the line has ended 9 lines before it in fallen souls. So he has written a very very long sentence with so many clauses, with so many interjections in these clauses. So he's basically writing that Shuddha Saraswati, the goddess of learning, through the mouth, through the tongue of Sri Thakur Mahashay, she is saying that uh, if we ever happen to be in an association where we are hearing something wrong about our spiritual master or about the Supreme Lord, we should be taking corrective actions so that we are able to we are able to dovetail those kinds of people towards Krishna. So, in this context, we have seen various devotees performing various kinds of activities. Hanuman is most like famous to have taken coercive actions. So he took the coercive action to dovetail the asuras and to dovetail those who are misled, the atheists and the daityas, towards Lord Ram. But in this day and age we cannot do so. We cannot do so because then the entire world, we have to do it for the entire world, because there are so many people who are very very envious of Lord's opulence. So in that context we have to be the author is saying that we have to basically take corrective actions to rectify the faults, or to drop the charges, or to pray. We all that we can do, if we can, if we are seeing that there are some people, and these kind of people, they may be in one's family as well. Even in one's family, even in the close circles, we may see that there are some people who are completely atheist. They have got no interest in Krishna or in his pastimes. We cannot kick them. So the word kicking over here, that I kick the head of any sinful person who disregards glories of Lord Nityananda. We need not be physical. Now in this the word kicking basically means showing them mercy, because if a pure devotee touches someone with his or her legs, that person is already he that person is already liberated. We are seeing this in Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Lila, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is on his way back to Prayag from Vrindavan, and on the way Balabhadra Bhattacharya, then Raghunath, the Rajput Raghunath, and two other devotees, the Brahmana from the Sanodia community, they are all coming along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that they will be able to drop him at Prayag, and from there onwards, Balabhadra Bhattacharya, the other Bengali devotee, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be going on towards Jagannath Puri. So in that way, they are walking along the shore of Yamuna, along the shore of Ganga, and in one of the places, when the Lord is performing, he's constantly performing dancing sankirtan on the way towards Prayag, and in one of the places he falls down unconscious, because he has got so intense attachment towards Vrindavan, that while leaving Vrindavan, on the request of Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he is constantly remembering Vrindavan on the way, and he falls on unconscious. And this time, when he falls unconscious, foam comes out of his mouth. At that point of time, four soldiers from Mughal army. The Mughal army's four soldiers are on patrol. So when they are on patrol, they happen to see that a sannyasi has fallen down on the ground. Foam is coming out of the mouth, and there are four people standing around him: Balabhadra Bhattacharya, one Bengali devotee, the Brahmana from the Sanodia community, and the Rajput. His name is Raghunath or else Ramdas. Some I forget the name. So when the leader of that small troop of four soldiers, he happens to go, and he says that, see, those four people have given the sannyasi dhatura, that the sannyasi must have had some gold with him, and the persons have given dhatura so that the sannyasi dies and he will steal all the things. So they are about to arrest the four devotees. Lord wakes up chanting Hari 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 Hari, and then the four devotees say that, see, we had told you that the Lord is unconscious. He generally falls down while chanting. Whenever he is chanting, whenever he is experiencing the Mahabhav, he falls down unconscious. We are not saying lies. So when Lord wakes up and he interacts with the four soldiers, one of the soldier happens to be a little bit learned than the other three soldiers. He happens to be one of the learned, devoted Muslims in the Mughal army. So he discusses with Lord regarding what is written in the Quran, and Lord says that, yes, what you are saying is the Brahman realization. But there beyond Brahman realization, there is a Purusha as well. So in that discussion, Lord is able to convince him, and when the person is convinced, Lord places his feet on that person's head. And when the leader of those four people, the four army troops, soldiers, leader is the son of the Mughal emperor. So when he sees, he also approaches, and the Lord touches him as well with his feet. As soon as the Lord touches, all the four are immediately transformed, and they are so transformed that they leave up they give up their soldier job, and they become mendicants. And these four soldiers, then they start the Pathan Vaishnav community, who go around the entire country preaching about Lord Chaitanya. So we see that whenever Lord touches, or any pure devotee touches the other person with his or her feet, the dust of the lotus feet, they give Krishna consciousness. So we can pray, we can offer obeisances to the Lord for the other atheists, or we can abandon them or neglect them. So these four, the 1 2 3 4 5 6 kinds of parihara have been given to rectify the faults. If we are at a position where we can rectify the faults, we are senior and there are juniors, we can rectify the faults, then we should be rectifying the fault, we should be rebuking them to drop the charges. If we see that the other person is ignorant, then the most that we can do is drop charges, to pray, to offer. We can offer obeisances on their behalf. When we see that the person who is chastising, he or she is senior to us, we can offer obeisances, we can offer respects to the Lord on their behalf, saying that, please, you may please forgive the person. To abandon and to neglect, we can do this when that person is, even after n number of times of preaching, that person is not changing that person's heart about Krishna. Then the best thing is to abandon and to neglect. So uh, while Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is a Vaishnava Acharya, the direct incarnation of Vyasa and servant of Nityananda, enacts his pastimes on transcendentally kicking, if even one particle of the dust falls on the head of some fortunate person, they will certainly achieve auspiciousness. In other words, their anartha nivritti, or freedom from unwanted things, is guaranteed. Just by doing all these six things, the person is quickly able to go over the anartha nivritti stage. So even if there is no Shraddha, Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. So even there is no Shraddha. So for those people who are atheists, they don't have Shraddha. But what is written over here, that the moment the dust of the lotus feet falls on the head, that person is going above Anartha Nivritti, or freedom from unwanted things. The exhibition of such great compassion by Sri Vishnu or the Vaishnavas is beyond the imagination or intelligence of the foolish non devotees, who cannot discriminate between what is favorable, what is unfavorable for their own welfare. The all auspicious endeavors and behavior of the preachers and practitioners of pure devotional service to Gaura Krishna, who follow in the footsteps of Thakur Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is a direct incarnation of Sri Vyasadeva, display on one hand gross punishment on the fallen averse living entities, and on the other hand subtle unlimited compassion on them. So the devotees, they display both of them. They display very gross punishments for those who are fallen, and even unlimited compassion, and both of them are the same. Even by giving punishment, the compassion is being given. Lord says that to Arjuna, that, oh Arjuna, you don't have to be worried about all these people standing in front of you, because they have already been killed. They have already been liberated, because I have already killed them. You are just the nimitta matra. And by doing this, Lord is acting as a beneficiary towards those people. He is Lord is the topmost beneficiary, because he gives, he is basically equipoised. He favors devotees, yes, but he's always equipoised. Why is he equipoised? Because towards the non-devotees he gives compassion in the form of kala. So aham kalosmi, Lord says aham kalosmi, because I am, as I represent myself as kala towards the non-devotees, and towards the devotees, then we have Guru, then we have plenary portions, we have his plenary expansions, his main incarnations, we have his devotees, in which Krishna represents himself. So it's a very beautiful verse, 25th verse. Eta parihare o ye papi ninda kore, tabe lathi maro tara shirera upare. So Mataji, we will stop over here. From tomorrow, if Mataji takes, we can start from 226th verse. Hare Krishna. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इताय गौर नंदे हरि हरि बोल।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम।
बहुत ही सुंदर प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण। जय प्रभुपाद।
Mataji, I will end the class for everyone.
यस प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा, नाइस क्लास प्रभु जी।
Thank you, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Mataji.